once I found out there was different things I can try out to sort of alleviate the pain and help me get back on the field, I was just so ecstatic.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Rita Roy, CEO of the National Spine Health Foundation, and I'm your host for the Get Back to It podcast, where we tell real stories of healing and recovery. What does it mean to get back to it? It means overcoming injury through treatments that work in order to return to the people and activities you love, whatever that looks like for you. It means getting back to your life. We're here to share the success stories of those who did just that, and some of these stories you are not going to believe. Today, you will hear Rocky M's story, and as a special bonus, we have our spinal champion, Rocky, on the line to sit down with us and answer some questions about his experience. Now that you know what to expect, let's get back to it and dive right into Rocky's story. Roger Rocky McIntosh is a software developer by day and a spinal champion. However, prior to his current career, Rocky was a professional NFL linebacker for the Washington Redskins, Los Angeles Rams, and Detroit Lions. As you might know, the position of linebacker is a key defensive position whose job it is to keep a sharp eye on the ball and block their opponent's offensive plays. They need to be able to assess the problem in front of them and respond strategically and without hesitation.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Of course, my previous profession was joining the NFL and staying in there for almost a decade. And being a linebacker was very challenging. It was a position where we needed to know everything that was going on. There's sort of like three rows of defense. There's defensive linemen, there's linebackers, and there's defensive backs. And we stood right in the middle of everything, and we just had to, lead the charge at times. And it was a very physically demanding position playing in the NFL.
Thanks for describing that, Rocky. Rocky used his fast-acting linebacker approach off the field in his journey to spinal health. While Rocky admits he has a high pain tolerance, he experienced low back pain, neck pain, and numbness in his arms, hands, and fingers after multiple neck injuries during his professional career. The injuries resulted in a herniated disc.
Yeah, I happened to injure my neck a couple of times, and that led to a bulging disc. So I had to seek professional help.
For many, becoming injured can cause fear and confusion that leads to delays in seeking treatment. But Rocky knew it was vital to his personal health and his professional career to seek treatment right away.
I had to seek guidance and treatment to get back to every season. The low back pain impacted my ability to do my job. My arms felt like they're asleep many times due to the numbness.
Rocky went through a series of MRIs and neurological tests. Through his diagnosis, he was able to discover a variety of treatment options. Ultimately, Rocky decided that a combination of non-surgical treatments were the best option for him. He was treated with injections and rehabilitative physical therapy.
Other people have the same power, but a lot of people don't want to go to the doctor.
Through treatment, Rocky was able to get better faster and was relieved of his symptoms.
I no longer had numbness or tingling in my arms. There was no pain, and I was regaining my strength in my arms. It felt good to get back in the game, but I still didn't feel quite right.
Despite the victorious result of treatment, Rocky recalls the psychological impact of his initial injuries and not feeling 100%. He also admits it was challenging to have to take time off to receive the rehabilitative care. When injured, Rocky could have easily become hopeless and stayed in that headspace without seeking treatment. But believing in his career and overall health, he took the necessary steps to get his life back as he knew it pre-injury. This carried him not only into retirement from the NFL, but in his new career as a software developer.
You can find any type of resource available. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Doctors are definitely there to help you.
Rocky, what an awesome story. The way you sought treatment quickly in your pro athlete career and carried that over into your completely different career as a software developer is incredibly impressive. Talk about having multiple talents. I know from your story that because as an athlete, your entire job is physical, you didn't hesitate to seek treatment. I have a couple questions, Rocky. What would you say to those in the community who have a less physically demanding job and may be tempted to say they can wait on seeking treatment?
Yeah, most of the times, I think there's this stigma out there. If you go seek treatment, it's the worst case scenario, when there's a lot of different options out there available, non-invasive, that you can go do, from rehab to, maybe getting an injection. Those types of things will help, probably alleviate your pain or rid you of whatever that you was experiencing. or just being afraid to go see the doctor, right? So they're definitely there to help. They're definitely knowledgeable, experienced. That's why they have, all the types of degrees, and they've seen thousands and thousands of patients. And so those are all great things. So just, keep that in the back of your mind if you're having hesitation.
Rocky, did you find that you hear of people that wait too long for treatment? And was that something that helped you, or being with other teammates who are in a physically demanding job like being a linebacker is? Do you feel like there's fear out there about being seen or being treated?
Oh, definitely fear out there. People are scared to maybe go to the doctor, whatever, but it's not only great for you, but great for others, not keeping secrets. And, our job is based on if you can physically meet the challenge. And if you can't do so, you sort of might underperform or lose your job. So you want to definitely go out there and go seek that treatment, get well so you can get back to, ground zero.
Mm-hmm. Rocky, were you pleased when you found out that there were options that you had for your treatment? Was that something that gave you hope that you maybe didn't have to go through lengthy procedures, that there were options that people could try in managing the herniated disc that maybe wouldn't require surgery or a series of surgeries? How did that feel when you were presented with treatment?
Oh, I happy dance because I was like, sort of having those injuries around those discs, that's like really serious. And the pain is excruciating, that sciatica that you get, and just feeling a little bit helpless, right? So once I found out there was different things I can try out to sort of alleviate the pain and help me get back on the field, I was just so ecstatic.
That's awesome. Rocky, at the National Spine Health Foundation, we believe that the journey to spinal health is one that cannot be made alone. We also believe that part of that role is ours, to step in and provide information and advocate for patients when they need it most. The other people who take on that role are one's community. What did finding support and community from loved ones look like for you in your journey?
Sort of in the locker room, I had my back buddies, all of us who had back injuries, we'd take our turns going into seeing each other, constantly rotating in and out. But it was just great to see us travel our journey and get back on the field and be better in some cases than we were before. I've seen that happen. So that was definitely a plus, and just being around others to be encouraged to, keep on the fight, and just, it's a little competitive too. So, I got injured on X day and I'm trying to get back on the field faster than you. So we had that going on also.
A little healthy competition there in the recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Rocky, you said something really important. You said some people got back even better than they were before. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what that means?
Yeah. There was another injury by one of my teammates, Reed Dowdy. I think he's also a spinal champion. He injured his low back, and unfortunately his treatment required surgery. And the results afterwards were outstanding. He was much stronger than he was before. He performed better on the field. He played many years after that, but it was just awesome to see him do the things that he did.
That's amazing. And that can be so encouraging. And stories like his and yours encourage people to know that they can get better and that they can get back to doing something as physically demanding as being a linebacker in the NFL. I'm clearly a big fan. And I'm actually amazed as I'm recording this and talking with you, and kind of in awe of what that picture must have looked like for you and what you went through. And it's very awe-inspiring and very, very just gives people hope. And that's what we're all about, is giving people hope, because too often, people want to give up when they have an injury and they think that their life as they know it is over. And we want to let people know that there are treatments that get you back. And that's why it's so awesome that you're sharing your story with us today, Rocky. Really, really means a lot. And I know there are a lot of people who need to hear this message. Another question for you. You have shared a little bit about how you've shifted to a totally different type of work from where you're moving less and you're at a desk most of the day. What are some practical things you do each day to continue to take care of your neck and back? This feels as important as ever, as so many Americans are needing to work from home right now in end of March of 2020, and we're faced with the COVID pandemic. Virus is causing many people to work from home, kids to have to do distance learning, sitting on computers at home. What are some things that you do, Rocky, as part of your regular job, and especially now?
It's all about staying active, right? Staying active within your mind and physically being out there. So, whatever it is, start your day off with, getting your heart rate up a little bit. Maybe it's you got stairs within your home, going up a flight or two each way, just to, revive yourself and lift yourself up for this awesome day that you're about to have. I would say that today, just before this podcast, I got out and ran, feel energized. I'm ready to get to work. And just also believe you put up a post, some awesome tips about, people who do work those desk jobs, and me being as a software developer, having great posture, getting a bouncy ball to sit on as a ergonomic chair or something like that, just to relieve some of that pain and stiffness that you might have sitting hour after hour, doing virtual meetings or typing whatever that you need to type. So a lot of those things come into play. And if you can just stick to a schedule like that, I think it'll be awesome. And have your family join you, and that'll just make the ride better.
Good idea. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice. Just staying active and working that into your life and making that a priority. I think oftentimes people who undergo treatment think that it's sort of a one and done and they go on with their life. But I think, Rocky, one of the things you've pointed out to us today is that it's really an ongoing maintenance thing that you need to do to take care of yourself. The doctors can do their injections or their procedures and they can fix things, but then you have to do your part too. It sounds like you've been very in control of doing your part of maintaining your health and your strength and your fitness after having treatment.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about progression, not regression, if that makes sense. So
I like that.
You want to take those steps forward. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to use that. We're going to quote you on that, Rocky.
You definitely want to take those steps back, even though in life there might be some times where you need to regress. That's just only going to make you stronger to take another big step forward. So I think that doing that rehab or seeing a follow-up with a doc, or sometimes they check in with you, and just really being candid in your responses to them. So, we can, sort of log that down, and you can see all the wonderful things that you have came across in your journey, and that'll just propel you forward. And it'll sort of be routine. You won't even have to think about it.
That's awesome. Rocky, do you still partake in physical therapy? Is that something that's an ongoing part of your life that you integrate in with your fitness plan?
Oh, definitely. I have 4 kids, so tossing them around is definitely part of my rehab, and chasing them around. Oh, yeah. I gotta be on my P's and Q's with them. They're very active, just balls of fun. So I got to stay there right there with them and just protecting myself, right? So I'm a very active guy, and I want to, bounce around like they do, but they have a little bit more elasticity than I do. So I have to make sure I'm able to keep up the good fight and, see them on as they go through school and all these other wonderful things. So I got to stay in shape for that and be mentally strong. And, having that care with my injuries is a big part of it.
That is awesome. Rocky, thank you so much for joining us today and being willing to share your remarkable story so that others can have hope in listening to you. I know your story will inspire so many others to be on the defense when it comes to their spine health and seek treatment options quickly. Anything you want to say to us in closing, Rocky? Any last words of advice?
You guys do a wonderful job in what you do in delivering the message. The stories on there are inspiring. I went through a couple as we've been carrying forth this dialogue. It's just a wonderful place where everyone can come together and talk about what they've done, what they've been through, and just see a bright future ahead. So thank you guys for having me on, and this is an awesome forum to deliver a message.
Thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much. At the National Spine Health Foundation, something we believe in most is providing hope for recovery through sharing stories of success. It isn't always easy to find someone to relate to, even though 100 million adults suffer from neck or lower back pain each year. To hear more stories of success and access educational materials about spine health, visit us at spinehealth.org. If you're interested in supporting our show financially, you can contribute at the link provided. Thank you for listening.